Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Obviously, very recently, in particular for the vast majority of the month of May, it's been sad times being an investor in crypto. Womp womp. That's the sentiment out there, at least. I'm thrilled. I'm happy as a clam here, but the calls for a cleansing of the crypto ecosystem are very much alive and well. And we saw the same thing back in 2018 as prices began plummeting. This is finally the cleansing that we need, and then things can start to get serious. Well, I'm not so convinced that we're at that point yet. The maturation to me doesn't quite look like it's there. If it is, tell me where it's hiding. And also, take a look at this, and this is the thing that's most interesting to me and I'm most looking forward to covering in this video. The XRP ledger is getting some competition from JPMORGAN. Specifically, what I mean by that is there's a developer building on top of the XRP ledger for a specific use case, and JPMORGAN looks like they're going to be jumping in to the same product category, and it's not cross-border payments. You might have been thinking that. You might have been making an assumption. You were wrong to make that assumption. No, it's not XRP as a bridge currency. It's the tokenization of everything. Equities, so on and so forth. Just the tokenization of everything. Even your pet dog and or cat. Crazy stuff out there. Also, I wanted to cover this story because I found it rather fascinating. Crypto's here to stay, my friends. Yet, lest ye be troubled by recent price activity, zoom out, think long term. Here's a headline from the Daily Hodl. Here's why video sharing giant YouTube plans to integrate NFTs, according to CEO. Now, part of the reason I wanted to cover this is I always find anything with YouTube to be fascinating anyway, since like I am running a YouTube channel. But XRP, you know, there's an amendment out there, right? I've been talking about this. XLS 20, which would allow for certain functionality on layer 1, the XRP ledger itself, for the minting and issuing, so on and so forth, of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And it is true that from day one, from the inception of the XRP ledger, yes, there's a decentralized exchange built in so you can issue assets, but that would add additional functionality. So anyway, plenty to talk about, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Damn it. And if you don't like it, well, you can just get out. Look at the sad state of the market today. XRP down to 38 cents. Oh my God, is that gonna go to zero? No, it's not going to zero. Shut up. Bitcoin at $28,801. Market cap for the asset class right above 1.2 trillion. Bitcoin dominance actually risen a little bit, 45.37%. And here's a crypto fear and greed index at 13 out of 100. So 1 point higher than yesterday, but still market participants, that's an indication they are in extreme fear. So what's going on here? This headline, to some, it sound a little bit cheery. It's not really grounded in reality, which is why I wanted to spend just a split second on this, if I may. And yes, I may, because this is my channel, damn it, and I do what I want. But this is from Crypto Newsflash. This piece is titled, Bitcoin Shows Divergence from the U.S. Stock Market Performance. Is this a good sign? The world's largest cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, has been under constant selling pressure and failing to hold around the $30,000 resistance. Earlier today, the Bitcoin price crashed under $29,000, dropping another 2.5%. Oh my gosh. With this fall, Bitcoin is showing a clear divergence and decoupling from stocks. That's all I needed to cover. The answer is no. This is not proof that Bitcoin is decoupling from stocks. Wasn't it just a few weeks ago when equities tanked and Bitcoin and the entire crypto asset class followed? Massively down just a few weeks ago? I just don't understand how these articles are still written, Frank. I just don't understand it. Nothing personal against this author, but what? Because here's the deal. If you pick a very small time frame, you can't draw any conclusion from that, from a sufficiently short time frame. You can't draw any conclusion in terms of correlation. Impossible. No, whether there's correlation or not, showing for a small time frame, that doesn't tell you anything. If you zoom out on a chart, you will see that over a prolonged period of time, Bitcoin has followed equities, not down to the second, the minute, the day of the week, so on and so forth, but it has followed. And there's no sign that it's going to stop following. So just because over this 1 day period, or whatever the hell it's been here, there's a 2.5% decrease. What did they say it was? Bitcoin went down. Dropped another 2.5%. Whatever. And this is supposed to be some sort of proof that it's no longer following stocks because reasons. I'm sorry. I just had to chuckle at this a bit. I had to miss this because I was just having too much fun. Like I was literally lulling to myself before recording this video when I came across this. And then there was this from you today because it's supposed to be the end of the world, right, folks? Oh my gosh, XRP to zero, Bitcoin to zero. Or if not that, at least cryptocurrencies that don't do a damn thing, right? Although, isn't that kind of Bitcoin? Okay, fine. Store of value was the first cryptocurrency. So it's the only cryptocurrency that doesn't have to do anything. That's another way of wording it. All these other cryptos that they say they're going to zero because they don't do anything, well, they could be stores of value, the same as Bitcoin. They're probably faster and probably not as much energy hogs. But no, that's not what Bitcoin maximalists mean. When they say a cryptocurrency has to do something or it's going away, they mean it has to have some sort of separate use case from store of value. And for Bitcoin, no. It's immune from that requirement. Bitcoin, because it was the first, not because of any other reason, because it was first, it's immune from the requirement that it must do something else. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, that's some solid logic you got there. So anyway, take a look at what was said here. And this is the type of stuff that was cited, frankly, back in 2018 when we were entering that very terrible bear market, which was supposed to be the end of crypto, many said. Anyway, piece reads as follows. Cryptocurrencies have been pummeled this year so far, but some cryptocurrency executives think that this is a good thing, despite the fact that the industry is losing money and prestige. Earlier today, Web3 Foundation CEO Bertrand Perez told business media outlet CNBC that the ongoing market correction would make low-quality projects disappear. Meanwhile, industry participants will be more focused on building instead of making a quick buck. Oh, that's a cute analysis right there. So people were saying the same thing back in 2018, like I said. Well, obviously, this is the .com.js at the moment, which we saw during the .com boom and bust. Remember where there was, whatever it was, $6 trillion bubble in the .com sector right there? And then it just plummeted, and people they woke up with a hangover the next day, like, wow, that was really stupid. Let's not do that again. Well, with crypto, it's a bit different, though, for a number of reasons. Because you might think, well, because with .com, all it took was one bubble inflating and popping. Like, okay, let's not do that. And then after that, it's true. Only the truly valuable projects, like Amazon, for example, persisted. Amazon went from being worth $107 at the height of the .com bubble, to tanking down to $6 or $7, along with the rest of .com stocks. But meanwhile, its business metrics were getting better and better and better, which means that in terms of long-term viability for the company, the odds were increasing despite Amazon getting clumped in with other .com stocks. That's what happened, which is what you see with cryptos here. The whole thing, it's just moving together here. And so it is rational and reasonable to think that those cryptocurrencies that solve problems, just like you saw in the .com boom and bust, those that solve problems, they're going to persist. Even though, yes, when you have that cleansing, even if it's XRP, which is useful, yeah, it's reasonable to think that it would crash along with it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to cease existing so long as it continues to solve problems, right? So then why do we keep seeing multiple bubbles inflate and then pop, and then bubble inflates, and then it pops, and you have a higher low with each one of these? But why does that keep happening again and again and again? Well, I'd posit the few concepts here, which is that, frankly, it's not clear which cryptocurrencies, generally speaking, are going to be valuable, because most of them, even today, you could even argue Bitcoin to whatever degree, they don't do anything. Almost none of them. So there's these attributes that people like about these cryptocurrencies. They can't be controlled. So we know we like this, we want this, but we still don't see them doing anything. So that's one reason. Additionally, with the .com boom and bust, early days of the internet, you didn't so much have communities around them. And as a result, things are different here. There are real communities. There's a real Bitcoin community. There's a real Ethereum community. There's a real XRP community. And I think that's a real human component that you just didn't see, at least not to this degree, not even close to this degree, a couple decades ago with the .com boom and bust. And this is truly global. This is on a global scale. And so people are still trying to figure this out. There's a frenzy around the asset class. There's this extra community component. So it makes sense that all of this is still persisting. So I can see why there's these market cycles. And then, with every time we bottom out, it's a higher low, but you're not seeing most of these cryptocurrencies, at least, go the way of the dodo, my favorite extinct avian creature. Well, how the hell is that? Why? How could that possibly be? Well, again, I think that's pretty much it. Now, it doesn't mean it won't happen in the future, but what I wanted to get at is that, excuse me, let me take a sip of water. I'm struggling here. Losing my voice. Excuse me. So anyway, yes, I do agree with this idea that ultimately there is going to be this cleansing, this come to Jesus moment. I get it. Yes, of course that's going to happen. But why the assumption now that this is the moment in time? Because I'm sure as hell not seeing it. What I'm seeing is that the altcoins continue to move in tandem with Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, technically, yeah. So Bitcoin leads the market, altcoins follow. But what I'm saying is, I'm not seeing all these projects suddenly starting to go to zero. I'm seeing that they're all pretty much bottoming out, as Bitcoin appears to be, at least in the moment, bottoming out. You start to see things tank further, specifically for large portions of the world of altcoins. Okay, fine. If we start to see a bunch of altcoins deal, I'll be like, that's the indicator. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm not seeing it. But you hear this every time we're in either a bear market or what people perceive to be a bear market. You start to see these things touted, and I just don't think that these are, no offense to this individual thinking this, I just don't think it's a particularly sophisticated idea. Like, we've seen this idea bandied about before, but in reality, humans are not changing how they're behaving, not observably. The market continues to move in tandem. So I just don't think it matters. Next topic. Look at this from the Daily Hodl. This is the fun one. Banking giant JPMORGAN considers using blockchain technology to tokenize equities. Report. Financial services behemoth JPMORGAN is contemplating tokenizing equities and other traditional securities using blockchain technology. Well, isn't this a novel idea? Look, folks, I've been saying that this would be happening for, the whole time I've been running this YouTube channel? And I was thinking it even before I was running the damn channel, like even back in early 2018. I remember first thinking, yeah, like why wouldn't you just have stocks tokenized? Why wouldn't you? Because you pick up efficiencies. It should be more secure as long as you have it sufficiently encrypted, right? All sorts of new trading opportunities, like 24-hour trading, actually. Like, why limit it just to business hours unless there are regulations in place, in which case, if that's the case, I'm unaware of them and they're stupid and they just shouldn't do that. I mean, fine, articulate a solid reason, but crypto markets are fine operating 24/7, so you'd have to have a pretty strong case for that to make sense. But there is a developer building on top of the XRP ledger that has been seeking to do this for years. Here's their website, Sologenic. I've talked about them literally for years at this point. Here's their website, sologenic.com, tokenized securities on demand. And if you scroll down a little bit here, you can see, there you go. Sologenic is a sophisticated ecosystem built on top of the XRP ledger. And so with the XRP ledger having a built-in decentralized exchange, which it has had since day one, it makes it a great platform, so says Sologenic, for just putting everything on the planet on here effectively. And in theory, the XRP ledger is supposed to be able to scale infinitely without the same problems that Bitcoin has anyway, because you can batch payments and transactions anyway, effectively. So as long as in practice that actually works, you could just tokenize everything. And so I've always said that when it comes to adoption of cryptocurrencies, maturation of the asset class, just throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. I don't mind. It's a messy process, but that's kind of what it is to just operate a business. If you have a new idea and you launch a company, maybe you make it, but most businesses actually do fail, and most ideas here are going to fail, but give it a whirl. And so it's nice to see that XRP already has multiple use cases, but this could be one more. If you're tokenizing all sorts of things on the XRP ledger, understand that requires depositing XRP itself for each of these tokens, because you're issuing an asset. That impacts the supply and demand of XRP itself. And that will increase. So what do you think is going to happen there? So, there will never be so many tokens, I don't think, issued on the XRP ledger that it'll have it'll result in a notable amount of XRP being locked up. But what I do think is, so yes, to some nominal degree, it would decrease the amount of circulating supply of XRP if it's locked up because a tokenized asset exists. But I will say that will just increase this idea for people participating, investing in the crypto space, that XRP and the XRP ledger, it's here to stay. Look at all these tokens. XRP is locked up. It's functionally useful. So if you want to invest in the crypto asset class and diversify further, if this is one more use case that's taken hold, that's really good for XRP. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to pan out. It doesn't mean it's going to play out like that. There's going to be all sorts of competition for this. There will be tokenized everything, though, in the future. So I appreciate that this effort is being made for the XRP ledger. It's just one more thing. It doesn't mean necessarily it's going to work, but it doesn't mean that it won't either. I'm saying I don't know, and go for it. That's what I'm saying. Let the market figure this stuff out. And so this has been years in the making for Sologenic, and now you have JP Morgan, which has recognized the same thing. So again, continuing on with this piece from the Daily Huddle now. According to a new report by Bloomberg, the banking giant is experimenting with blockchain technology by using it to transfer collateral settlements during the after hours of the market. On May 20th, JP Morgan transferred the token representation of $10 trillion to asset management firm BlackRock's money market fund shares as collateral on its private blockchain. JP Morgan told Bloomberg that this effort, quote, will allow investors to pledge a wider range of assets as collateral and use them outside of market operating hours, end quote. Well, color me surprised. I've been saying this for several years. It makes sense to tokenize all sorts of stuff. Not that I'm literally going to tokenize everything. I will not be tokenizing my pet peeve, which is my sweet little 7-year-old terrier mix, the best dog on the damn planet. No, I'm not going to tokenize my damn peeve. By the way, so I've joked about that in the past, as it turns out, people are interested in tokenizing live animals. I kid you not. The example that was cited that I saw was a horse and had to do with horse racing and multiple people and or businesses having shared ownership in a horse that would run races and then getting some sort of monetary benefit as based on results, so on and so forth. And I got a chuckle out of that. I was like, you don't need to freaking tokenize animals. And as it turns out, you might want to tokenize some animals. So I just thought it was kind of funny anyway. So we'll see. So we'll see what's, but it's just so interesting to see. This is such early days here. Like XRP, my God, it can be used for so much. It is being used for a number of things now, way more than almost every other cryptocurrency on the planet. And even JP Morgan is recognizing a use case that a developer building on top of the XRP ledger has recognized. That I found to be very fascinating. And then there's this from the Daily Huddle. Here's why video sharing giant YouTube plans to integrate NFTs, according to CEO. Video sharing giant YouTube says it's planning to integrate non-fungible tokens into its business model. In a new interview with Blockworks, YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says NFTs would make it easier to identify which creator made a video, and it would add another way for content creators to monetize their network. Or their work, sorry folks. And here's the quote. If creators are selling their videos as NFTs, then that's an important form of monetization. NFTs are a form of monetization, and we want to provide the best monetization to all creators. The second reason is that we also are in the best position to verify which assets actually belong to which creators. It would be a problem for creators if some third-party site was selling videos without knowing that it belonged to them. If it turns out that this is an important form of monetization, we want to be there to support creators and make sure content isn't being stolen and sold somewhere else, end quote. And that is correct. That is the correct approach. And folks, it is not just JPEGs, which is why the fact that there's an amendment, which is, we're still waiting to see how this pans out. There's an amendment being proposed for the XRP ledger, XLS20, which I've been talking about in recent videos, which would allow for native functionality, layer 1 on the XRP ledger, implementation of NFTs. That's a big deal. NFTs aren't going away, and it is not just about JPEGs. It's funny to joke like it is. I appreciate all the stuff South Park's done on that front. Seriously. But it's about so much more than that, including royalties for content creators, and not just YouTubers, but bloggers or musicians, so on. You name it. That's a big concept, and it's technologically possible. These are all sorts of behaviors and business models that otherwise couldn't exist if not for the fact that cryptocurrency is here. It's here to stay. And so the fact that XRP Ledger is getting involved with this, at least potentially on that type of scale, with this XLS20 amendment, that's just another thing. Throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. That's the way that I don't know if it's going to. I sure hope that that works for the XRP Ledger. It seems to be a good fit. Ripple thinks so. A lot of people in the community think so. There's a good chance that that amendment's going to pass this time around, and we'll see. It's exciting times, though. There's so much opportunity, and so to people freaking out about price, I'm like, God, do you not see the opportunity? It doesn't make sense to be scared here right now, not even in a bear market. That's my personal opinion. Doesn't mean there's no risk. I acknowledge all sorts of risk, but there's so much opportunity, and to me, that's much, much more interesting and important. But I'll go ahead and wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.